guys, so we're here today with Matt as our test subject, and we're going to actually go through a little interesting topic on club length, specifically on driver.
Yeah.
So we've been wanting to do this one for a little while now. We've been really aware of the questions you guys have been leaving on the YouTube channel, just about various specs that we can build clubs to. So we don't build every club to 45 inches and a D3 swing weight, standard grip size. You know, everyone has a slightly different, custom build to it. So Matt was saying you used to play a shorter driver with, didn't you?
So I've had a 44-inch driver for the longest time, 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And when I did it, I went to it just because what you hear mostly, on TV and online is that you should be able to gain some control, some consistency. Hit a little bit more in the center. Tighten your dispersion, and more or less you should be hitting at the same distance.
Right.
So I don't really know if it did that for me, if I'm honest. It probably didn't. Probably other people's mileage may vary, but I've always been curious to actually get on a machine like the quad and say, let's hit a bunch of shots, and does it or doesn't it actually help, and analyze the stats.
Absolutely, and I think it would be fair to say it may not have worked because you may not have been in the right combo.
For sure, and there's other, as you say, there's so many factors.
So many
So for someone to say,
yeah,
I'm going to cut my driver down and my driver's good now, it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
And I didn't make an educated choice by any means. I just was going on, what I heard, which a lot of people do, right? You see it on TV and you think, let's give this a shot, kind of thing.
For sure.
Right?
I mean, I remember last year, start the PGA Tour season, Ricky Fowler, Jimmy Walker, a bunch of guys were tinkering with. Especially the Butch Harmon guys.
He's 43, isn't he, Ricky?
Yeah, well, he has been. I think he's a little longer again, but Butch has always been an advocate of just get it in the fairway if you've got some good distance.
Speed.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got enough speed to carry it. So, and that's the thing with you. This is such a worthwhile test because you do have the speed to kind of carry it. So Matt's general club head speed's around the 115 mark. Maybe a little higher if he wants it. But the premium for you is just hit as many fairways as you can, up the scoring opportunities, and then the game obviously becomes easier.
Exactly, which most people are looking for that.
For sure. So what we've got today is this exact same shaft. We've got a 75 gram Accra shaft. We've got it 45 and at 44.
Perfect.
So we're going to try both of those in a TaylorMade M1 10.5. Keep all the head characteristics the same. The only variable we're going to change is the length.
Is the length, yeah.
Okay. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to capture not just a few shots. We're going to capture
a bunch of shots.
About 30 shots with each, because a few here or there might not really show us what we're looking for.
100%.
So we're going to do an in-depth test here. So we'll kind of fast forward that for you guys towards the end of that, and then we'll obviously present the results.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so you're all done.
I'm all done.
Your work was done. That was
it was a workout.
That was good stuff. Well, it's a workout when you're swinging at 120 miles an hour. I wouldn't know.
I shouldn't have been swinging that hard, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's an attribute to have, that's for sure. So, really interesting test, guys. Really, really interesting. So we started with the 45-degree driver.
Yes.
The longer one. Matt was hitting it nicely. That's what he's very used to. A 45 is what he currently has. So let's kind of do a little look at that one specifically. Average club head speed 122. Average ball speed 170. So really quick. Sorry, going back to that there. Just flipped on us. Yeah, 122 with a 169 ball speed.
69.
So pretty quick. But we did notice quite a lot of fluctuation in the ball speed.
Yes.
You'd be 171, 172, 166. And the main reason for that was the strike point was varying a little bit low in the head, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was hitting them, I would say, consistently low on the face, but I mixed in a bunch there that were kind of erratic as well.
Right. I mean, pretty good results. Average 288, 305 total. You'd be pretty happy with that, but at 169 ball speed, it probably feels a little bit shortchanged.
Yeah, it's probably not as efficient as it could be.
Not as efficient. I've certainly seen people at 110, 112 with similar sort of numbers to that. So,
we're wasting some speed there.
Yeah, we are. Let's kind of run through across the board here. So, launch at 12, spin at 2700, fraction high. Angle of descent 42 degrees. It's about 4 degrees too high for me.
Yep.
The height at 121 average. That doesn't really tell the story though, because we're kind of fluctuating from,
they're
as
all
we
over
said,
the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
87, 96, 144. We want consistency.
Yeah.
You know?
And every swing with that one, I mean, obviously my own ability is a factor.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel, I mean, I'm shortcutting to the next one, but the 44 inch, I felt like most swings
Right.
were kind of in the same feel and they were taken off in a similar way. So I definitely felt more inconsistent with the 45. I didn't expect it to be an issue, to be honest with you, because I've been playing with the 45 and it
You're used to it.
hasn't crossed my mind. We did the videos, I guess, a month ago.
Yep.
And we played with that a little bit down south, and it's been great. It didn't really occur to me that there might be something missing there. But
Definitely. Well, looking at the delivery, so you're a little bit into out, a little bit up. I mean, those are really good numbers for getting some really
distance.
long drives. A little up, a little from the inside.
Yeah.
Dynamic loft is around 18, so all good stuff.
Just not striking it very consistently in the
Yeah.
better part of the club.
That's it. We were averaging 8 millimeters low.
Yeah.
That's what we were.
So can we take a look at the club face
Absolutely.
comparison?
So we're going to take a look first at the 45. So there's your average strike point.
So low.
Yeah, a little bit low. There's your 8 millimeter low, fractionally out in the toe.
Yep.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. Let's have a look at the 44 inch, which we were curious about. So I guess the big question is always, what are you sacrificing by going shorter?
Yeah, exactly. Which is the point of this video. We're trying to
sure.
figure out what the difference is between the two in the real world, testing with someone.
So 1 full inch shorter, you actually didn't even lose 1 mile an hour. You lost 0.7 of a mile an hour.
Right, so just a bit.
Lost next to nothing.
Yeah.
But, so that's the input. Let's look at the output. Your ball speed actually went up by almost 1.5 miles an hour.
1.5 mile an hour. Yeah.
So you are more efficient.
And I hit the 44 inch driver second.
Yeah.
So, you know, a bit of fatigue may have even been a factor. So
Right.
that's, considering that, it's crazy that it actually went up a little
It
bit.
went up. So you were just more efficient. And if we overlay the two strike points, you'll see the blue dot
higher
there.
up.
Yep, fractionally higher. Let's get the exact measurement of that. So 2 millimeters on average low.
Okay.
So that's 6 millimeters. Doesn't seem like
Difference.
an awful lot, but yeah, it's a decent amount.
And that's taking a bunch of spin off, it's giving you more ball speed, and it's just, you're getting more out of the club speed.
That's exactly what we saw. So your spin rate came down to 2,000, and it really regulated. I mean, your spin window was super tight.
It was, yeah.
When it was spiking up, it was only spiking up to 27 and 2,800.
Yeah.
You know, but the rest of the time was right around that 2,000 mark.
And the high ones were just a bit of a push.
Yep.
But
Little
those
open
are
face.
more manageable than with the other club, for
Excellent.
sure.
I mean, it surprised us, this one, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
You know,
It
I
did.
thought
it's
there
not
would
what I
be,
expected at all.
I thought there'd be a loss of distance fractionally,
Yeah.
but we might see a little bit of a dispersion story. So let's have a look at that.
Yeah, the consistency of flight.
So, looking at the 44 inch, sort of decent size dispersion. Let's see them overlaid.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's wide. It's a little. I mean, it's not hugely different, but it's wider left.
wider,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's shorter.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
For
shorter.
sure. So the 44 inch driver, the shorter, slightly more accurate driver,
Yeah.
was longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and that was all about strike point.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
one of the biggest things I think this season the story will be on obviously with twist face and you know the whole debate about going with that is
100%.
you know people are becoming more aware of the you know outcome of where you strike it in the face.
Yeah.
I mean we have one right here that TaylorMade dropped off to us, you know, and you can really see you know the toe peel back, the heel peel back as well, and the changes of that. You know, you've seen it right there. So not so much for you. You know, you're actually the anti-twist face. You're hitting it low in the toe.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
It's not doing much for you, is it?
No. No.
So
it would probably have just given me, I guess, lower shots than
Yeah.
anything.
So, so for you, really going a little bit shorter gave you actually a little bit more efficiency.
Yeah.
So, you know, that we definitely see benefits.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking a crazy difference, but you know, I had never that exact configuration and shaft. I'd never hit.
Yeah.
And we hit both clubs consecutively, and you know we just got a better strike point out of it.
Without a doubt.
And hitting it, what an average of 10 yards further with you know more or less the same swing.
Yeah. Yeah. Without a
Yeah.
doubt.
So this is definitely worth looking into for someone. I mean, you could probably have someone come in and maybe their difference might be even less.
Yeah.
They might have almost no difference, but as you always say, you got to come in and check it out. But
You gotta try it.
Worth looking into.
yeah. And
Absolutely.
you have seen the reason I would look at going shorter for someone is if you can't strike it consistently in the right spot,
Gotcha.
we might look at taking a little bit of length away. So as long as we don't compromise the build, like we always talk about, we still have to have an efficient build from you know, a swing weight standpoint. The club has to still be balanced,
Right.
but as long as we're not taking away too much weight that we compromise that part of it, you've just seen yourself, there's definitely benefits to improving that strike location.
And if you get the guy that's just hammering it out of the middle of the club almost every time, you could experiment with him half-inch longer and see if he picks up. You never know. He might pick up a mile-an-hour club speed.
It's a great point. It's a really great point. You know, I've seen myself working with better players that just don't miss the middle of the face, and you know they're kind of what we would call people who stay on plane, or you know, very, very consistent swingers. Those guys, you can keep adding length and they'll just keep going up in speed. The reality is people who change plane a little bit, you know, going shorter with them, they actually get a little bit faster.
Interesting.
So, so plane changers versus people who are very consistent with the plane of their golf swing, length plays a huge part in efficiency.
A bit of a confidence issue as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, to me, the shorter club I just felt a little more free with. Maybe that's a factor in how well I was hitting it too.
For sure.
A lot to it.
Excellent. Well, I mean, hopefully this has given you a little idea, a little taster for not just looking at a standard specification when it comes to clubs. Please be aware that the stuff on the shelf that's in the shops is never 45 inches. I mean, we're going 45 and 44. The stuff that's out there is 46, sometimes even longer than that. The reality is, guys, that's just not going to help people. It's not going to make you hit fairways. It's not going to really help you be a better driver of the golf ball. So, you know, go get fit. Make sure you're using the correct, appropriate length, and you, like Matt, could gain an extra 10 yards for nothing.
Absolutely. And we got tons more videos coming, this kind of format. We're going to hit tons of shots and test kind of all these sort of common conceptions about the game, and we're going to get into those over the coming weeks.
And we love the questions. Keep them coming. We'll answer a bunch based on this. I'm expecting a lot of questions on this video.
I hope so,
This will kind of, I'm sure, perk the interest of a load of our viewers. So really enjoyed that one, and we look forward to doing more again.